And I welcome our witnesses to the committee today. I look forward to what I hope will be an educational hearing where our members, especially some of our freshmen, will have a good opportunity to hear what the different divisions of the SEC are working on. At least some of the focus, I believe, will focus, of course, on the SEC's budget. And, of course, when you get into that, there will be press reports about how Republicans are trying to starve the SEC. But on that point, let me just examine the facts for a moment. Back in 2000, under the last year of the Clinton presidency, the SEC was allocated about $369 million. In FY11, the SEC has a budget of about $1.14 billion. So in just over a decade, the SEC budget has, in fact, tripled. So especially in this day and age when we're running deficits of over about $1.6 trillion, I think it's not fair to say that the SEC is being starved. In fact, it's just that sort of rhetoric that you hear, and it only comes out of Washington, D.C., that language. And basically, it gets unleashed Washington every time someone around here tries to do, the fiscally responsible thing. So we want to get into that a little bit. I'm also interested to hear from each of the witnesses about spending priorities. So they have for each of their divisions and offices. But I'm less interested in this area of hearing about how underfunded the agency is, especially as we await for the study that is about to come out that will hopefully provide us with thoughtful recommendations on how the Commission can and must become more efficient, reduce management overhead, and enact other internal reforms. So before we even think about giving the agency yet another funding increase, at minimum, the agency will need to show some major progress in implementing some of those recommended reforms. So at today's hearings, I also hope to explore the lack of economic analysis being done on the SEC proposed rules, which has led to some D.C. Court of Appeals to basically rebuff Commission rules on a number of occasions in the last several years. Finally, look at the SEC union activities also need to be looked into. Several fundamental questions need to be asked in this area. For instance, is the union hampering reform efforts within the institution? Is it even appropriate for a bunch of basically highly paid government attorneys to be organized into a union? If so, why? So there's plenty to discuss today, so I look forward to our witnesses' testimony for a robust answer and question session. And with that, I will yield back my time and yield 5 minutes to the ranking member.